Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is MC Motorsports broadcasting live from New Hampshire, the Worldwide Racing League Truck Series. Playoffs, round of 12, race number 3, the cutoff race to make it to the next round. So far, it looks like Jonathan Cofield, he's won both races so far this round, has locked his way through. Right behind, I believe, is I want to say Zabata, is basically locked in on points. Everybody else fighting for the last couple spots. We got 4 drivers that will be kicked out of the playoffs after tonight. So far, we're up to 10 drivers in the practice session. I'm Jonathan Giesper. Alongside me, as always, is Michael Matta. Matta, playoffs are getting deep here. We're already almost done with the first round. And, Jonathan Cofield's kind of been leading the charge as even the regular season had. But, it's anybody's race. You get to the Final Four is really all you need, and then it's just beating everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a pretty small field here, only 12 guys at the moment in the session. I think we're going to see a dominating race from Jonathan Cofield again. I mean, this is a tough track. I think it's going to take a lot to beat him, is what we're going to see, is just a race like Bristol, where this is a track where you can really overdrive the corner, push up the track into other people. But with only 12 drivers here, we might just see a green race.
And just like Bristol with the smaller field, we got a majority green flag race there. The race was over quite quick, one of the fastest of the season. So if this field stays smaller, we definitely could get a lot of green flag laps.
3 minutes left in practice, and right there, I mean, they're just playing around, but it's going to kind of be like that if we see a wreck. You're going to see the bottom car drift up into the top car, and that's how our wrecks are going to happen. We'll see some spins like that, I'm pretty sure. And then off of, turn 4, it is really loose. Turn 2 is a little bit, but not as bad as turn 4 in my opinion.
Cheers. I think it's a lot slicker than we're used to seeing.
If we pull up our weather, we're looking at, it's only 70 degrees out, track temp is 79, so it's pretty cold here up in New Hampshire. Track seems like it's going to have a lot of grip, but I mean, New Hampshire is going to New Hampshire, and it's going to be real slick out of the corner exits.
And I feel like side-by-side off of turn 2 is going to be one of the dangerous points. But the inside car is going to be a lot more free than the outside car. So if we see them side-by-side, they're 1 and 2. They're both going to have to be careful not to get into each other or get loose.
Yeah, and the dominant lane, at least the start of the run, is going to be in that second groove. And then as the race goes on, it's just going to move up and up. You're going to get a good run out of the corners on the top line, but that bottom line can roll the corner through the center really well.
Final minute, 13 seconds of practice. We're heading to qualifying, where I'm sure we'll see Jonathan Cofield not put down a real lap time, if any.
Yeah, he's putting down a little, coming out for practice right here. Gonna put down a couple laps, I imagine, but running the top there. I'm sure he's going to try and put down a really fast lap here. Jump to the top of the boards if he can. See him tap the wall there, get loose out of the corner. Something we're going to see all night. Here as he completes the lap he's gonna run. See where it puts him. And second behind Panzarella for practice. As practice comes to a close, only one driver didn't put down a time, Nicholas Lamb. And Will Moore is going to be the first one to jump on track. Sporting a white and green paint scheme tonight.
Something a little different than we're used to seeing out of him. Jonathan Gofield is on track. Is it going to be the same as
Yeah, we'll see
last
what he
week,
does.
was it? When he just cruised around, a minute off pace, or does he actually put down the lap?
And it looks like he is going slow again, so we'll cut off to him and go back to Will Moore.
Yeah, he's currently...
Because Will Moore's going to spin.
He's got it redlined in, like, second gear.
Check out Keith Ayers. White and blue Coors Light 17. It's obviously going to put him P1 for right now. Nope. O'Toole's going to complete his lap right after him, going to 30.08. Seems pretty steady on the track, not really pushing the car too hard, doesn't look like. Gonna keep that time.
Varela is on the back stretch of lap 1.
This is someone I think we might see compete for the pole. It was quickest in practice.
Yeah, the pole fight would most likely be Panzarella and Cofield if Cofield were to run.
You say that Irwin right now 100th faster. Let's see if Panzarella can gain anything on this second lap. Try and beat Charles Irwin here. See right there on the track map, we're in his quickest sector in sector 1 right there. As long as the second one's just as good as the first one, he's going to improve. Right there, you're in his quickest lap, a 29.84. Going to put him easily on the top of the boards. Right now, he is the only car on track. Right now, Kevin Stanley Jr., Nicholas Lamb, Jade Feathers, Jeffrey Smith have not put down a lap yet.
I want to lock my prediction in right now. Zach Panzarella is going to lead at least 70 of 115. And he's going to win the race.
All right. You don't think Jonathan Cofield's going to come up and take it?
He'll get up there, but I don't think he's not going to take it today.
All right. It's a bold prediction. I mean, we see the time just from Panzarella a full 10th quicker than the rest of the field at the moment. We still don't know what Jonathan Cofield has in the tank. You see Jade Feathers coming off. We're going to run his lap. Take a look on board with this one. Very easy getting back to the gas there. We use all the track. Ooh, he gets loose out of 4. He's gonna save it. We'll see where that puts him time-wise. Alright, now it's gonna be last, so he's gonna have to find a little more speed. It's a lot better job out of the corner there. Going to better his time up to 7th is Jeffrey Smith coming around on his 2nd lap. First lap put him in 4th with a 30.1.
Jeffrey Smith's a real consistent, you know, he sneaks up in there.
Yeah, you know, personally, I think at the beginning of the season, I almost would have called him a back marker, but I feel like the last 5 to 7 weeks, I mean, he's just kind of been up front, and he's been really improving. See him, he's not going to get better on his 2nd lap, but I mean, 4th place here, it's going to be a great starting spot. That'll leave Kevin Stanley Jr. and Nicholas Lamb left to put down a qualifying lap if they will, but still have 3 minutes left.
There's dropped with connection issues. See if he gets back in here in time for grid.
Kevin Stanley has jumped onto pit lane.
Number 5. Tailgate State's powered by fairy dust and stripper glitter.
You can get all the way against the wall there. Going to run the top here, try and get a good run out of the corner. Gonna arc it in. Almost diamonding the corner there. See how hard he sends it in here. Really patient getting back on the gas, not to spin it out. And we get to 5th with 30.12. See, that first half of the lap was better than the last one he had with the purple.
Does Stanley have anything for current pole holder Zach Panzarella?
Really good corner exit there.
Gains one more spot. Up P4. Davis has reconnected. Don't think we're going to get a lap time out of Nicholas Lamb. There's 1 minute left.
Well, New Hampshire would have to pull out now, and he'd only get 1 lap in, so it's possible, but I think he's just going to start in the back. You know, Panzarella, we were talking to him before the race, he was talking about how, almost a little cocky, he said, I'll talk to you guys when I get the pole, and, unless Nicholas Lane comes out and puts down an absolute heater, it looks like Panzarella is just going to be our pole sitter tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's not out there yet. He doesn't have the time. Looks like we should be grabbing old Panzarella then. What do you say?
Yeah, let's grab him.
Zach, Jonathan, and Michael and Booth got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you got that pole you were talking about when you're talking to your pre-race. You got it by over a tenth, so quite a gap there. Um, did did it feel good? Was it out of control, or did you just set down a heater?
It felt kind of sketchy, not gonna lie. First lap was loose, and then I saw that I was gonna be second there, so I really just kind of put it all on the line on that second qualifying lap, and it worked out. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I have that for the race pace. And we saw Cofield show up with like 5 minutes left in practice, so uh, borrow time until I'm racing that guy. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, we got 115 laps here, and definitely looking forward to seeing if you can go out there and just take control and keep Cofield behind. With kind of always the goal anymore. Just try and keep Cofield behind.
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Excited to put this Daily Drivers Inc. Silverado in the front row here again this league, and excited for this race. Love this track, and got a good group of guys here, and excited to get this one in and see you guys on the other side. Hope for the best.
And I do have a quick question. What are we looking at on fuel?
42? 45, I'm sorry, 45. So
all right.
Two stopper here.
All right, thank you.
Of course.
Fun. Our pole sitter driver, the number 12 at Daily Drivers Inc. Chevy Silverado, Zach Panzarella.
Pull up our qualifying results. Had Zach Panzarella first, Charles Irwin in second, Ryan O'Toole in third, fourth Kevin Stanley Jr., fifth Jeffrey Smith, and sixth Keith Ayers.
Second half of the field, the Javier Zapata, Will Moore, Jade Feathers, Anthony Camarada rounds out the top 10, and then the no-timers of Jonathan Cofield and Nicholas Lamb will start at the back 11th and 12th. Not the largest of fields we've gotten as we've seen the playoffs started. Some of the guys that didn't make it have kind of fallen out, stopped showing up a little bit. Definitely a little disappointing to see, but the ones that show up are still putting out some great racing.
Yeah, I mean, we have the core group still here, so I think we'll see a good show tonight, a good race. We're gonna watch Jonathan Cofield make his way through the field, and a couple of the faster guys in the back, like Javier Zapata and Anthony Camarada. Be nice to see them try and work their way through the field, and there's gonna be some wrecks. I think. I don't think we're gonna run a full green race, but if we do, we'll see who can manage their tires the best.
Pace lights are off on the pace car, so they will be going green this time.
A lot of green trucks out here tonight.
That's true. We see Charles Irwin, Kevin Stanley, Jeffrey Smith. They all got a bunch of green on their trucks. Pace car gives down pit road. Green flag is underway at New Hampshire.
96 gonna jump middle.
Got a jump. He's already in middle 3.
Watch this, slides up a little bit. Kevin Stanley puts him up into the marbles just about.
Ran wide through that corner, kind of dooring each other.
See Charles Irwin over the back bumper of Zach Panzarella. We know Panzarella at least has really good short run speed.
Looked like the 15 of O'Toole back there overshot turn 3 bad, got up into the wall and turn 4.
Ooh, spin behind, looked like Jade Feathers. Just loose out of the corner. Caution's gonna be out.
First yellow flag of the night on lap 2 off of turn 2. Truck number 75.
Looked like it happened with Will Moore. Or at least he was involved. Oh, he spun behind it. Alright, let's go back and look at Jade Feathers here. See what happens. Yeah, just loose out of the corner. I think Will Moore was just trying to slow down. No damage for Will Moore, but Jade Feathers, that's going to be big damage. He's going to, I don't think he'll have to use the fast repair, but he's definitely going to have to fix the truck. As they're coming around, pit road should be open this time.
The left front of that 75 is all beat up, missing the fender. Wheels, top of the wheel is angled outwards.
Yes, he's going to bring it down along with Anthony Camerata and Keith Ayers.
Ayers must have some fuel ideas, just fill her up.
Stay on the rear chase here and see if he uses that fast repair, if he just tries to fix it normally.
Seems early for the fast repair, but if the damage is bad enough, then that's going to be the only option.
He's going to use the fast repair this early. Take tires. Anthony Camerata and Keith Ayers going to come off pit road. Go look at our leader, Zach Panzarella. Not too much movement through the field. Jeffrey Smith up 2 with that 3 wide move in the beginning. Ryan O'Toole down 2. Javier Zapata up 1.
Absolutely huge props to Jeffrey Smith for timing the green flag and getting to the middle and making that pass to start.
Yeah, I mean, he did it immediately. I mean, he went right to the outside. I don't know if these guys have a rule about not changing lanes before the start-finish line, but he made it work.
Has to be inside. It almost looks like they allow anything.
Now, with that being said, I think this is going to set the tone for the night. It seems like single car spins out of 4 and 2 is going to be the main cause of our accidents tonight. It seems like everyone is going to try and race a little bit cleaner, but I think we're just going to see those single car spins.
This time by is not on the start flag, it's on the leader. Zach Panzarella is going to have choice inside the restart zone of where to launch. The pace car dives down. 12 is going to get the launch.
You get a big jump there.
Way clear down into turn 1.
See Kevin Stanley running a really wide line, and what it does from through the corner. I mean, he just gets a huge run. And I mean, Jeffrey Smith is to his inside now, but look at this run he gets all the way up to now 3rd because of that move.
Jeffrey Smith slides up. Kevin Stanley switched low. They're mostly single file all the way through.
Ryan O'Toole back there, just a little bit wide out of the corner. See Cofield probably going to jump to his inside. Not this time.
All 3 green trucks are in a line.
And I mean, Jeffrey Smith is really impressing me right now with the speed, the 5. He holds on to it. An insane save.
Javier Zapata around on the inside. Here goes Ryan O'Toole.
And it's going to Elizabeth. Ooh, gets to his quarter panel. O'Toole has to lift just a little bit.
And right behind all this is Jonathan Cofield at 58.
And he's just watching. He sees that Kevin Stanley's struggling with that truck right now. Doesn't have any confidence in it, but he's making the top line work. The only truck really doing that right now.
Cofield currently nowhere to go as he waits patiently.
Yeah, I'm
Plenty
sure.
of right left, no rush.
Sure, he's just sitting back saving tires. This is a place where the tire saving on that right front can be really important if we get that long run. You see the top 3 have pulled away running single file up there, and then this gaggle of cars just can't get away from each other.
Running different lines, trying different lanes, inside, middle, outside. Trying to go through the inside of the tool. Tool takes it way to the top, even higher than Stanley.
Ooh, he keeps playing with the wall there. He keeps tapping it. It's getting him just a little bit loose. And I mean, if that keeps happening, he's gonna right rear somebody. But right now, he's making it work. Gonna dive to the inside. There's a battle for third, or for second, starting to heat up. Jeffrey Smith all over the back bumper of the 7. Jonathan Cofield really being just taking it slow. I think he's just trying to wear everybody out in front of him. Kind of running the same pace as everyone else. I think he knows that we have this smaller field, that he's just gonna let everyone else kind of wear out their tires, thinking we're gonna have a long run here.
That means he has no reason to do anything special. He's already locked himself into the next round.
I see Nicholas Lamb has made his way on track, 4 laps down. Made his way to the race a little bit late, but he's here.
Zapata and Stanley side by side. Zapata brushed the wall off at 2.
And it seems these guys just can't gap each other. Like, they're just all right next to each other. Jonathan Cofield goes to the inside of O'Toole.
It's like, yeah, the field right now is separated into 1, 2, 3, and then 4 to 11.
Ooh, in the wall, O'Toole. Not too bad. Hit it pretty flat. Should be good to go. Something to note, Jade Feathers, all the way back here, took those new tires after 5 laps of racing, not even. And he's not making his way through the field, so he's just down a set of tires on the rest of the field. See if that comes into play, but with this long run, I don't think it'll be a problem unless we get a couple cautions at the end. As Charles Irwin, under pressure from Jeffrey Smith. Panzarella loving everything that he's seeing. Clean air, no real pressure from behind. And most importantly, no Jonathan Cofield quite yet. Jeffrey Smith almost to his outside, trying to make that pass work.
Oh, very slight wiggle out of the 7 off of turn 2 there. That almost allowed that move to the outside.
I think Jeffrey Smith is pushing the truck as hard as he can. It makes me wonder just how much he's going to fall off later on in the run. You can see him get to the back bumper. Going to give him a tap there. He's just telling us just how hard it is to pass. That might be what you have to do to make the passes. Kevin Stanley gets around the 24. It's a 24, hits the wall, and it creates a chain reaction of everyone behind him hitting the wall.
It does bring Jonathan Cofield with him. Stanley and Cofield both getting by.
O'Toole back in the wall.
Zapata falling all the way towards the back. Jim Fowler's good airs just bumped a little bit. They're both still good.
These guys side by side for second. Irwin not wanting to give up this second position. And battling it really hard.
And, I'm going to baby those tires while they battle.
Yeah, if I'm Panzarella, I'm driving as easy as I can, as these guys are going to wreck. Nice, save it.
That did slow up both trucks, increased Panzarella's lead by about half a second.
Just taking a look at that from the rear chase. I see the 96 on the bottom. The 7 squeezes him a little bit. And the 7 gets loose off the corner.
Yeah, and the 96 was apologizing over radio, but I don't think the 96 did anything wrong. He left plenty of room. Just the truck got a little out of hand for the 7. And
yeah, just two guys racing. Yeah. And it's Kevin Stanley under fire from Jonathan Cofield, but Jonathan Cofield 7 seconds back from the leader, Panzarella up to a 2-second lead. So if this runs green, this isn't going to be an easy come through the field like we've seen.
The bigger gap that Panzarella can pull before pit stops will make it easier.
I mean, if Panzarella is smart, he's been saving tires, just kind of running a nice easy pace, and I mean, he'll have tires left to just keep gapping the field. There's Cofield, I mean, he might be saving a little bit, but he's still racing these guys. As we can see right here, going to bring it down to the inside. The 5 is going to jump high, and I mean, Panzarella just having that clean air is going to be really important later on.
We did ask Panzarella earlier about fuel run. He said that was about, what, 45?
45, and they had that caution, so I'm thinking they can make it maybe to 51, 52. And some guys put a little more fuel in it, could probably make it to 60, 65. I think it was Camerata.
It was Feathers.
Feathers, Camerata, and Ayers.
Yep.
And you know, they haven't made their way up through the field, so this might just be a track position race. We're gonna need. I think we're just gonna need either passing right on the restart or a very long run.
Down into turn 1, Cofield's gonna get it. Stanley was had to lift quite a bit off of 4, almost hit the wall, and that gave Cofield the run to the inside, down to the front straight into 1.
What I'm noticing,
6-second gap for Cofield.
I'm saying that Panzarella had a 2-second lead. I don't know if he's just managing the gap, but Jeffrey Smith has caught a 10th on him. As I say that, he's losing it now again. Panzarella up to a 2.2 second lead. Will Moore having a good day, up 2 spots so far. Ryan O'Toole struggling a little bit, down 4 spots so far. Anthony Camerata just hanging out in the back. As Charles Irwin has fallen all the way back to the clutches of Jonathan Cofield. This is the battle for 3rd. Kevin Stanley catching up. See what tire saving does. The 7 pushing hard early, and the 58's just going right up to him. The 5 there too. And 115 laps at New Hampshire is no joke. This track, it's pretty demanding out of the drivers. Lap times are 30 seconds, so about the same as, you know, a regular 1.5 miles. So you guys are in for a long race. Longer than usual, I feel like. In terms of mentally and physically. Keith Ayers making his way around Jade Feathers, at least trying to. Kevin Stanley makes his way around Charles Irwin.
Zach Panzarella's lead is up to 4 seconds now.
And you say that, and Cofield, we were saying, was 6 seconds back of Panzarella. Those guys are running pretty even. That time hasn't gone down too much. Which, I mean, If this runs green, Cofield's got to be a little bit scared of that, knowing that Panzarella's got really good short run speed and long run speed, it looks like. He's slowly eating into it, but I don't know if he'll get there before the pit stops.
Pit stop taking place anywhere from 17 to 23 laps from now.
Charles Irwin, we were just talking about him up in second place, third place, and he's fallen all the way back to sixth place now. Really struggling with that truck. Looks like he's struggling to get it turned in the middle of the corner. You can see right there, I don't know if you guys can see that, but his wheel was turned so much in the middle of the corner. We'll go on the rear chase, see if we can see. Or we'll go to the left front. Just how much he's turning that left front tire in the middle of the corner. Check it down in this corner here. Right there, he's turning it.
Really show it too.
Check the cockpit here. Right there, he turns it in, and then he turns it even more in the middle, and he's really overusing those front tires there, asking more out of the front tires than they have grip for.
Right front's not gonna be too happy.
Because right there you see he hits the lock point, and then he goes past it right there, trying to get a little more out of the truck. And I mean, you get a little bit more out of it, but it's gonna kill the tires, as we're seeing as he's falling back through the field right now with O'Toole right on his back bumper. And as this battle goes on, none other than Jonathan Cofield catching up to Jeffrey Smith here.
Yeah, Jonathan's gap has closed from 6 down to 5.1 over the course of the last 5 laps. So he's definitely not going to get that close under this first run.
But if he can just bite chunks out of it and maybe do a little bit better than him on the next run, I think if this runs green, he has a chance of catching him around lap 80, 90. As O'Toole gets by Irwin now. This is not what he needs. Let's just see up front a little more, the battle for third, or second. See how hard Jeffrey Smith battles this. I mean, I don't know if he let him by. He's going to try the crossover, give him the bump in the middle of the corner. He tries the crossover, but he just doesn't have any tires left compared to Cofield.
And that's where all that patience and following everybody earlier pays off.
We'll take a look back. Looking backwards for Panzarella, almost a straightaway ahead of Cofield. Cofield can see him as he comes out of the corner. He's entering the corner, and he's going to get closer and closer, trying to get right in that draft. Not that it matters too much here, but still 5 seconds back. As a good battle back here for ninth. Keith Ayers is going to peek inside of Jade Feathers. Run it really low down there. There's actually less banking here at New Hampshire down in that bottom groove. That's why we see nobody really using it. When they do it, they really dive it in and then have to slide up the track. We'll see Keith Ayers do it again here. Drive it way far in, slide up the track to where the banking is, and then try and get a good run off the corner. Going to make that pass. Is just ahead Charles Irwin now battling with Camerata in a free fall. Camerata to his quarter panel, going to drag him back with the side draft. Charles Irwin running really high. Not much of a choice with that right front tire. Just being completely destroyed, I imagine. Look at his mid-quarter speed right there, going all the way down to 89. We'll check in with Keith Ayers this time, his mid-corner speed this time by. And you see, that's the difference. Irwin had to slow all the way down to 89 that corner before. We'll see what happens here. And Air's just able to carry so much more mid-corner speed with a little bit better tire. Wilmore hits the wall a little bit there, starting to catch up to Kevin Stanley. And Ryan O'Toole coming down to pit road, lap 41. Gonna try and short pit here. It's a little bit early, but they do have.
I did just watch Cofield get a little loose off of turn 2. It was a slight wiggle, but he had to come completely off the throttle.
We'll see if O'Toole takes all 4 tires. I imagine he will. Fill it up with fuel. Yep, I think we're going to see that from just about everybody. Jonathan Cofield slowly catching up. Javier Zapata makes it around Charles Irwin. Charles Irwin has looked really strong in the beginning, but I mean, has destroyed his tires. We saw how much he's turning at mid-corner. He's really hoping to get some new tires on there. See just how tight it is. I mean, right there, he cannot put the throttle down out of the corner without the truck just plowing tight. As Keith Ayers gets around Camerata. Keith Ayers is one of the only trucks we're seeing utilize the dive down into the lane with a little bit less banking and drive it up the track. That's how he's making a lot of his passes. Kind of throwing a slider.
Javier Zapata coming down pit road.
Kevin Stanley, Javier Zapata down pit road. So green flag stops are happening.
Might have heard Jeffrey Smith call it. Wilmore just called out pitting.
2 stops right there. Ryan O'Toole, I'm hearing crashed. Take a look at this again. See if it was an actual crash. Yeah, a slight spin. Oh, he taps the wall. He gets it rolling again. Will Moore down pit road. Jonathan Cofield coming down pit road.
Irwin's called out pit.
Charles Irwin.
Our leader is called out pitting in this time. Panzarella coming down.
Look at Zach Panzarella coming down pit road. Gonna get it slowed down.
Now I'm watching Jonathan Cofield. He's just got his left sides on it. He's pulling away from his stall now.
Jonathan Cofield on our track map is going to be in 6th position, so take a look at him. Zach Panzarella right now still in 1st. See him pulling into his box and make a clean stop. Jeffrey Smith down. Javier Zapata having some troubles. Gets loose out of the corner. Not going to hit anything, so lucky for him.
Way to keep it off the wall there.
And Panzarella we see right behind him. Going to have Cofield coming quick.
This is the fight for the lead. 3 seconds of time. All wiped away during the pit stops.
Now Panzarella's got to manage keeping the lead and saving tires, because we're set up for a really long run here with the field really spread out. We'll take a cockpit view right here. Cofield You see how much less he's turning the wheel than, for
flag is
example,
out.
Jeffrey Smith. Gonna crash. See what happened here.
Was running P3 before the cycle. Looks like those new tire monster bit him.
Yep, and he spins it. Doesn't hit anything unless he gets hit, but yeah, it looks like he just a simple spin, not gonna hurt him too much.
It does look like it's going to trap him, Irwin, Zapata, O'Toole a lap down, because everybody besides Ayers and Camarada.
Yeah, we had Feathers, Camarada, and Keith Ayers not pit yet, so they're gonna.
Those were the three that came down in that first caution. They were still sticking it out a couple laps.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to pay off for them, too.
Yeah, they're going to gain a few spots, but Panzarella, Cofield, Stanley, Moore still were on the lead lap, which is how far ahead they were. So they're going to cycle out in front. And Cofield's going to pit again.
He's going to get a little extra fuel in it.
So if these guys can go about 45, this will bring him to about 95?
85 to 98 after these yellow flag laps.
So that's setting up for I'm thinking, either a right tire call if this runs green, or a no tire call. Definitely not going to take 4 tires with only 20 to go. Zach Panzarella, Kevin Stanley, Will Moore staying out. Will Moore slowly fighting his way through the field all day. Jeffrey Smith currently a lap down. See Nicholas Lamb, Ryan O'Toole, Jeffrey Smith getting laps back here. As the field doubles up down the backstretch. Oh, and Kevin Stanley's wheel disconnects. I think that's what just happened. It took a really hard right-hand turn. Or he puts it in the wall. I don't know what happened there. He's still rolling around the track as the leaders get to the restart zone. Panzarella going to get a really good jump. Will Moore to the inside of Cofield. Nicholas Lamb going to bring it down to pit road. Everybody pretty single file right now. You see Smith, you're really loose back there. Nicholas Lamb going to call it a night. The spin. Keith Ayers going to spin it out of the corner.
Didn't look like he hit anything.
No, I think it's just another
Just Austin locked it down.
Another single car spin right in front of Camarada, doing a great job of avoiding that little group there. Great job too. Just a little spin. I mean, his tires are going to be a little hurt, but other than that, he's going to keep on rolling.
I heard over the radio there we had the 75 Jade Feathers calling Code Brown after narrowly missing Keith Ayers on that one.
I'll take a look on board with him, what he saw. This was a little spin.
I can
See
watch from the 75.
Jade Feather's view.
This is the Code Brown call.
And he's got cars to his inside, so he has nowhere he can go. We jump live, we see Jonathan Cofield down pit road. Gonna fill it up.
Like a good chunk of the field came down, actually. They're all going to fill it up.
Looks like everyone's just doing fuel. Camerata, Moore, and Panzarella staying out. Well, some of these guys are taking tires, some of these back guys. Ryan O'Toole, Keith Ayers just spun, taking tires. It's like Charles Irwin, gonna take some tires too. Ryan O'Toole, extended stay on pit road here, 29 seconds. Third caution of the night, and I mean, we're not really seeing any people crashing each other. It's just these single car spins. I mean, it's kind of the same thing we saw at Bristol. Jeffrey Smith back down pit road was our lucky dog. Gonna miss his box. That might hurt him on this restart. The field and on the backstretch, he's still trying to get in his box. I think he gave up there. Didn't want to miss the field. Nicholas Lamb called it a night. Zach Panzarella's led every lap this race, gonna lead us with at lap 56 in the restart zone. Not as good as the jump as he has gotten. Will Moore is gonna stay right there with him. Jonathan Cofield really aggressive to the inside, gonna drive it in really deep.
Brushes the wall, but not gonna have any effect. It was a very light kiss.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's see, Will Moore has nothing for Jonathan Cofield. Cofield, I think, was one of those cars you just come down and put more fuel in it. Panzarella last down on 46. And Cofield down just this last time. And he can go 10 more laps than Panzarella can. As Cofield's running hard right now to try and get around Panzarella. Probably trying to make Panzarella use up some of those tires. The yellow's out. I believe it's Keith Ayers. Take a look at what happens here.
I think he had some hard hits to that pit wall.
Oh, just up into the 15.
Keith Ayers apologizing over the radio to the 15 of O'Toole.
And O'Toole's going to have some really big damage on the rear end. Hits the wall multiple times with that back end. Keith Ayers' truck, though, doesn't seem to be too bad. A little bit of right front damage. So catch up with the leader here. Catching the pace car. So from here, 45 laps is going to get you to 105. I wonder if we'll see some guys come down again and try and pit, and then try and stretch that fuel.
If I'm Zach Panzarella, I'm coming down now.
Yeah, putting fuel in it.
Everybody has multiple times already. It's time that he does the same, because you know Cofield's coming.
He's going to fake it.
He pulled.
Cofield's going to be the only one.
In there. I think I saw a no-no out of somebody. I don't know if iRacing's going to catch him.
Well, it's at the cone. I don't know if this track uses it, but he baited Cofield. I don't know if he baited Cofield in, but Cofield's going to be buried back in 7th now. Going to have to drive his way back through the field. So I think that's best case for Panzarella not pitting here is Cofield going in. The only thing is now is can Cofield save enough fuel? He just fills up.
You want to rewind it back to that pit entry. Take a look at the 8 of Wilmore. I think iRacing is letting him get away with it.
Let's see.
But Wilmore he drove clear over the entry cone. When Panzarella faked, I saw the 8.
You talking about Wilmore?
Wilmore. Go rear chase on the 8. He sees the fake of Panzarella.
Right there.
He was close. iRacing doesn't have him hit with anything.
Well, if we look back, you see the cone. Well, right there on the right side. That's where iRacing scores it.
Okay, so yeah, he didn't hit the iRacing cone, so that would be why.
But if it was real life, he'd be going to the back. Now this puts us in a really interesting spot. They're still a little bit short on fuel. I wonder if Cofield's going to try and stretch it. I mean, this is a track you definitely can stretch fuel a little bit with the big braking zones. Into the corners you can lift and coast. Maybe even shut the truck off if you really want to save a bunch. As we see the sun coming out just a little bit, might heat the track up. Right now, track temp down at 74 degrees. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because these front guys definitely can't make it. Cofield's going to be really close if he saves, and another caution, and I think we'll just see everybody come in for tires. Panzarella, not a great jump.
Out. Wilmore holding with him a little bit.
Well, Moore's going to clear the 5 there. And how hard does Panzarella run? I mean, these guys are going to want the lead. Does he let them go by if they start running those tires really hot? See Cofield back there getting by. I think it's Irwin. Everybody pretty much single file. See if Jeffrey Smith can have the same luck he had earlier getting his way through the field. Right now our biggest mover is going to be Will Moore and Anthony Camerata, both up 6 spots.
You got Stanley on the back end of Will Moore.
Ooh, Cofield. Or Irwin.
Truck's out of shape way in the back.
Okay, you didn't know somebody was to his outside, pulled it way left to get out of the way. And this is more typical as Cofield's really slicing his way through the field now. Definitely pushing the tires a little bit more than he did that first run. Started in 730 up to 5th. All trucks that are running still on the lead lap. Keith Ayers a little bit loose out of that corner. Panzarella not really pulling away from Will Moore. Will Moore staying pretty much with him.
Yeah, right around 4/10.
And Panzarella has done a really good job of just managing the trucks that are around him. You see this battle back here, the 96 and the 75. A little bit of contact there. Zappato back there way off pace. Don't know what's up with his truck, but running slower than a lot of the field.
Keith Ayers and Ryan O'Toole. Keith said something over the radio directed at Ryan. Don't think it was harsh. I think it was just a little comment.
Cofield now trying to get around Anthony Camerata.
Camerata with an impressive P4 at this point in the race.
Yeah, and he played a little bit of that different strategy. He was one of those trucks who stayed or came down that first time, filled it up, was able to go a little longer when that yellow came out. Here you see Keith Ayers to the inside of O'Toole again. O'Toole hitting the wall, trying to give him some room. Keith Ayers running that line where he dives it in and then slides up the track. O'Toole giving him plenty of room to do it too. He jump back up a little further. Cofield to the inside of Camerata. Camerata just going to let him go. Knows that he's a bunch quicker. Cofield looking for a 2 for 1. He almost gets to the inside of 5 there. As Will Moore staying at that half a second gap to Panzarella, doing a really good job sticking with him.
Looking at it the way it sits, drivers that needed a good race today, Jeffrey Smith is the first car out. Yes, Jeffrey Smith currently P6, was up in the top 3, was the first car out of the playoffs, and he was behind by 7 points. Will Moore is in P2, was the guy 7 points to the good. Anthony Camerata, 3 points to the good, coming in, currently P5. Charlie Irwin's back at 10th. He was 6 points to the good. Keith Ayers.
Zapata.
Wrong number.
I mean, Zapata in last place was 41 up, but with this small amount of cars, I think he's almost pretty much locked in coming into this race.
I think even with a 20 truck field, he was basically a lock no matter what.
But Jeffrey Smith, I mean, he's got the speed. I think if he can get up there, he can definitely win this race. His Cofield
Nicholas Lamb was 29 points up on first car out. And he's currently P12. And he's been on pit road forever now. He called it a night. But Jonathan Cofield locked in. Zapata's got to be locked in. Lamb might still be locked in.
How about Will Moore?
Stanley.
Second place right now, was right on that cut line.
Yep. Kevin Stanley currently P4 is P5 in points. So if he stays like that, he should be good. Keith Ayers, P6 on the point grid. Running P8. Decent day, should keep him in. Charlie Irwin P7 of the points, kind of back in P9, so that could hurt. We could possibly see him jump out. Anthony Camerata's running strong, and then Will Moore was the first car just inside the cut line, so P2 will really help him here.
You see Charles Irwin starting to fall back once again. I mean, having a hard time figuring out this track. Take a look back up in third. One more is starting to fall back to Cofield. Back a second. He was half a second. Cofield's going to get by him. And this is going to put no trucks anymore in between that first and second truck of Cofield and Panzarella. See if Panzarella has anything left in the tank to keep Cofield behind him, as we're only about 15-20 laps away from pit stop starting for some of these guys who didn't pit.
Pit corner entry, Cofield gains. On exit, Panzarella gets a little bit of that back.
And Panzarella running the higher line there to get a good run off. And Cofield kind of running a more traditional line. Off the backside of Panzarella here. Cofield's eating away at that gap quick. I think unless Panzarella has something left in the tank, Cofield's going to make an easy pass of him once he gets there. Battle for 5th and 6th. Or 6th and 7th. Keith Ayers and Smith heats up.
That gap for Cofield and Panzarella, it's shrinking a little, but not as rapidly as we've seen Cofield chase the leader down in the past.
Yeah, I think Panzarella is a really good match for Cofield, especially at what Panzarella I think considers to be one of his best tracks. Let's see how many laps they've run. And we're looking at Panzarella last pitting at lap 46. He's with a couple of cautions. I think he can make it to about lap 100. So, again, ready for some pit stops soon. Go back to that battle with Keith Ayers and Jeffrey Smith. As Cofield has really eaten a gap into that lead over the last 2 laps. It was a 0.8, now a 0.5. And, I mean, if these guys want to pit, like, say, Panzarella feels like he's falling off too much, he could pit. I mean, the window's been open since about lap 70 to make it on fuel, so you could pit here and still make it, as we see Cofield getting right up to him. Wonder if Panzarella hurt that right front. Doing a good job of blocking right now.
Just a tad lower that time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for Zach to start taking away Cofield's lines. You see here, he's running lower than he has been. Still sliding up the track a little bit. They're trying to take that preferred line from Cofield.
Ooh, Cofield a little bit loose out of the corner. A really good battle there coming out of the corner back there, but just as good of a race for the lead. And it just makes me wonder how much is Cofield just waiting to strike, waiting for the moment for Panzarella to mess up, not really push the tires yet. It just kind of waiting. Or is this the max they're going, both of them?
When either of them come down pit road, does anybody call 2 tires? Does anybody call no tires?
I think we're going to see a 2-tire stop. With how tight this track is, you can make a 2-tire stop work really well. It'll loosen that truck up and make it a little bit easier to drive. It'll be hard off the corners, but you'll be really good through the center and into the entry. And you'll gain a little bit of time. You don't need much fuel at this point.
Bench. Cofield off of 2.
Something to note, Zach Panzarella is not running for the playoffs. He's just here for fun, going for wins, so he's going to do everything he can. Mark Cofield already locked in, so these guys can race pretty hard if they want. They can really race this thing out and not have to really worry too much about implications of playoffs.
Correct there, you did say Mark Cofield. That is Jonathan we got out here tonight.
Yeah, that is also something to note. Mark's not here tonight. Couldn't make it.
That is going to knock him out, along with Matt McDonald, who has not shown up for the playoffs, I don't believe. So those 2 are definitely knocked out.
Oh, a really good run here for Jonathan. He's going to put it to the inside. Oh, Panzarella really going to pinch him down. Going to give him that exit room. He's going to let him have it. Wonder if we'll see Panzarella pit here. The only thing is, if you pit, I mean, they have a really good sized lead right now. I don't think they'd lose a lap. I know he would to Cofield, but I think if he go down, Cofield will go with him. Now, if you're Panzarella here, I think you might try to put 4 tires on it, maybe to get around Cofield, and if gamble on Cofield putting on 2, as we're going to see Zach come down pit road. More coming down. We'll see what Zach Panzarella does if he puts tires on it or not, going all the way down to that first box. Last thing he needs right now is a caution, though.
Could see a no-tire stop out of Cofield.
Panzarella putting rights on it.
He has extra fuel in it.
Panzarella putting lefts on. He's going 4 tires.
He's going to lose a lap.
He did lose a lap, but he will get it back as soon as Cofield pits. It looks like it's going to be a close race for going down to second. Not even really. So, as long as he stays right here, and when Cofield pits, he'll be in a really good position. Jump on with Cofield, who is going to make his stop. Really, really aggressive on that entry. We'll see what he does here for tires and fuel. Gonna make Kevin Stanley our leader. Also have Anthony Camerata down. Clean stop. Gonna put rights on it. Gonna put lefts on it, so we'll go back on with Zach Panzarella as he comes around down the back straight, or the front straight. Right in front of him is Jonathan Cofield. Zach Panzarella going to have to run off the corner, but exactly where they left off going into pit road. And these guys are, this is really going to show who the fastest one is in this lobby. These guys don't have to save any tires, only 20 laps to go. Kevin Stanley right now, our leader, though. Battle behind with Keith Ayres and the 96 of Jeffrey Smith. Now what these guys are doing, not pitting with them, they're really hoping for a caution. Will Moore getting right up to the back bumper, already pit. A lap down, trying to get it back. See the tire difference.
Lap time difference last time by, Cofield only half a tenth quicker.
Yeah, you can see them up on the track map, 7th and 8th. They got a pretty good gap right there. Keith Ayres running the bottom here, getting ready to pit.
Andrella about 2.5 tenths off that last time.
Bring down our leader, Kevin Stanley. Gonna put Jeffrey Smith in the lead. You see that gap between 7th and 8th right there, just getting bigger and bigger. Panzarella doesn't really have the speed to keep up with Jonathan Cofield, really give him any kind of fight. Gonna have to find a little bit more in the tank if he wants it. But Jeffrey Smith out front. Still has to pit.
He'll just brush the wall off of 2 slightly.
Jeffrey Smith last down on pit road on lap 60. Anthony Camerata behind, trying to get that lap back. Camera gonna get around. Ooh, the 5 around. Oh, the 15 in the wall. The caution's out.
Out with 14 to go.
Take a look at what happened here. I know the 5 spun in front of him. I wonder if this was just reactionary. He gets loose. Take a look at what happened to Kevin Stanley. And it's just the same thing. Just gets loose. Jump back live with our leaders, Jeffrey Smith and Jade Feathers. Right now, Ayres, Stanley, O'Toole trapped a lap down at the moment. And can any of these guys make it? We're going to see these guys. They're going to all pit. I thought maybe someone would stay out, maybe try and stretch it, hope for another caution, but Jonathan Cofield and Zach Panzarella
are down.
coming down pit road. Everybody down pit road. So that's going to trap them back behind Jeffrey Smith, Jade Feathers. I don't know what they're doing. Cofield's going to take tires.
Putting right sides on it. Getting left side, so it's 4 tires for Cofield.
Panzarella just put right sides on it. Jade Feathers,
Right side
yeah, right sides.
Panzarella.
That's going to trap Cofield
That'd
back.
be the money move.
And someone we were talking about is Jeffrey Smith. We know he's really quick, going to come out 3rd. I think he took 3 tires. Not 3 tires. That'd be an interesting call, but it looks like he took 4. I think Zach Panzarella the only one who took 2. So we'll see how much speed those have with those tires. Keith Ayres and Ryan O'Toole still on track. Gonna get their lap back here. Ryan O'Toole, a tough day, a couple spins, a couple hits of the wall, but still out here. P11. Zach,
Everybody's still on the lead lap besides Nicholas Lamb, who parked it earlier.
and Nicholas Lamb, I think he just missed the beginning of the race and thought maybe he'd get
Four
enough.
laps down.
Thought he
We
might.
didn't see him put down qualifying.
Yeah, thinking he joined, thinking there'd be enough cautions to maybe get Lucky Dogs to get back up there, but pretty much locked in the playoffs, so figured 4 laps down, not many cautions happening, you might as well just park it. But pace car is going to pull off here.
He could have had a chance of getting it back.
Yeah.
With these couple cautions here at the end, I mean, he could have had a chance, but not like he exactly needed it. Pace car dives off. Panzarella in control.
Cofield right behind him, though. Cofield tries to time it. There's a bad time on it. Going to send him back a little bit. 4 tires behind the leader of Zach Panzarella with 2.
Zach is going to have to hold on for 10 laps.
10 laps. What Panzarella wants right now is a caution, I think. I think that's what he wants. Able to hold on really well right now, though. These 2 tires going to make... Oh! Behind. Will Moore.
Trucks behind. 3 hard into the wall. Will Moore, Jade Feathers. Was that Anthony Camarada or was that Keith Ayers?
Anthony Camarada.
Camarada looks like he...
Take a look back.
We had 2 trucks get loose simultaneously, and I think it collected a 3rd bystander. See Camarada on the outside.
Yeah, Will Moore just gets loose, overcorrects. And just the 3 of them all right there.
Overcorrects into Camarada and Jade Feathers all the way by pit wall. Just nowhere to go.
Take a look on board with what Camarada saw here. Guessing he had just nowhere to go. The 8 gets loose below him. I think just corrects right into him. Yeah. He got lucky right there. Right in the instance he was going to hit straight on, and then he gets hit from behind. I think that saved his truck from getting completely damaged. As pit road is going to be open.
Little friendly banner over the radio. Jonathan Cofield, Zach Panzarella, Jeffrey Smith. Cofield tells Panzarella, you can go take the left side tires now. Jeffrey Smith pipes in with, y'all can both go top up on fuel.
And Jeffrey Smith fell quite a bit on that restart. He was up in 3rd. I don't know how he lost it. I mean, saw everybody too wide. Someone we were talking about earlier having, a pretty awful day, if I'm going to put it blunt. And Javier Zapata right there when it matters. P4. Still 7 to go. I think we're going to have about 5 to go when we go green, so still a chance for...
And he wanted yellow to take off a couple laps. Fight just a little less on green flag run to hold off the 58.
I think that's kind of what Panzarella wanted. I mean, it seemed like the 2 tires were holding on good, but this just eats away laps for him. He's going to probably get another good jump here, although Cofield's going to be to his outside this time, not right behind him, so we'll see how good Cofield is on that outside line, keeping up with him. I think if he can get side by side with him, I mean, Panzarella is going to have a handful to deal with. I think if he can clear him into 1, he's got a really good chance of just holding on.
Asking for an EOL, just trying to limp the truck to the finish here.
Who is? Oh,
Jade Feathers asking for the EOL.
Yeah, we saw him use that fast repair early on that first wreck. Didn't try to fix it, and it's kind of biting him here at the end of the race, but
that's almost certainly going to do it for the playoffs for Jade. His last place, needed the win here.
Hey, don't say that. We've got a 2-tire call up here and 4 tires behind. We could see a massive pile up on this restart going into turn 1, and who knows? Jade Feathers back there could avoid it.
This is basically coming down to who wins the race and which driver down at the bottom. Does Jeffrey Smith squeak in over Will Moore or Camarada?
See where Panzarella decides to jump.
Green flag, green flag.
And a really good
Goes
jump.
super early.
Caught the 58 sleeping, and this is what he needs. 5 to go. Cofield's got the 7 all over his bumper. Gonna give him a bump. Someone back behind the 5, hard in the wall.
Hard in the wall off of 2. It's gonna be another yellow. Green is still out. No
Yeah,
yellow.
he
He's
saved
going.
it. We'll jump back to the lead here. Cofield, he's right there. He's really good through these corners. Panzarello's gonna have to play really good defense here. You see him drift up the track.
Take away the line that Cofield wants.
And where Panzarello's gonna have to be good with this two-tire call. He's gonna be really loose. He has to be good through entry in the middle. He's not gonna be as good as Cofield on these exits. You see right there, he dives it in. Ooh, the 96 saves it back there. Gets a little loose. And Cofield, not really much happening right now. But right there, that's where it's gonna kill Panzarello. You see the 58 diving in really well. And then Panzarello is going to be loose off these corners, but he's doing a really good job.
Less than 2/10 the gap to the 58. He dives to the inside of turn 3.
He's going to get a good run, though. He's not going to be able to clear or get to his quarter panel.
Panzarello's got the run down the front stretch. 2 laps to go at New Hampshire.
Take a look on the nose. He's going to dive it inside. Can't get to his bumper. Gets a little bit tight. Has to lift. Panzarello gets loose.
Cofield into him. Yellow flag is out. It's going to collect Irwin. Here comes Jeffrey Smith, Keith Ayers. And some extremely aggressive words from the 96 that I will not share over the radio.
He needed a good day, and that's not going to be good for him. Take a look. Saw it happen right in front of us.
Zach Panzarello on 2 tires, loose off of turn 2.
And I was saying it's going to kill him on the exits. He's going to be really loose as we take another look. Just puts
58 just nowhere to go.
And then just a pile
Same
up.
for the 7. And then everyone trying to avoid it.
Nowhere to go. Keith Ayers piles into the back of it. We'll take a look on board with the 96, see what he saw. I know we're about to get pit road, so we'll watch this quick. And just the wrong way he picks. Should have went high, but what I'm seeing is Jonathan Cofield's gonna get the lead back just from when the caution flew. But
I don't know if there's a lot of damage there.
I mean, he's got the lead. I see a little bit on the front. Zach Panzarello down pit road. I'm going to try and fix that truck, but his day is going to be pretty much over. And, you know, we were talking about Jade Feathers. He did make it through that wreck. So he just needs another one of those, take out 5 trucks, and he will be our leader. But take a look at the front of that truck. Yeah, both left side and right side damage to the front of that 58 truck of Jonathan Cofield. Zach Panzarello using his fast repair. Keith Ayers doing the same. And Cofield's going to keep the lead, it looks like. And I don't even know if these guys behind can get him. We'll take another look at points. Camarada is one of those names who doesn't need to win. He needs a good day. So how hard does he push to try and get up there? So does Will Moore. Will Moore needs a good day. Keith Ayers a little further back. Now in the back due to that wreck.
Needed a good day over top of Will Moore, and with that incident there, it drops him to 9th. Will Moore's up to 4th.
And Charles Irwin, I mean, he was not safe by any means. He's had a pretty awful day. Was collected in that wreck. As you see, he's done on pit road. He's going to have to fix that truck, but there's no fixing it at this point.
Lights are out on the pace car. Jonathan Cofield's going to have controlling the restart zone over the 24 of Zapata, who's came out of the shadows to be restarting P2 on first of 3 possible green-white checkered finishes.
And I was saying it was a pretty awful day, but here we are. Oh, Zapata has a bad jump. The 8 jumps to the outside. Put him 3 wide, and that's exactly what Cofield wants to see. Jeffrey Smith back there is going to turn the 75.
Truck's going around.
Jeffrey Smith put him in a really bad spot, trying to go 3 wide, and that just did not work. Take another look. See the 96 try and stuff it in there, and it just doesn't work. Keith Ayers just came down pit road. Does a good job of avoiding that.
Jay jokes for once when he spun, it wasn't him on his own. Jeffrey Smith's still not happy over the radio. Apparently unhappy with a few trucks around him on the restart. Specifically the launch, not just turn 1, but the launch of the restart he was a little unhappy with. He's still got some anger in him from getting collected in the wreck.
Take a look back at that green flag. See what he's talking about here. Go on board with him. He sends it 3 wide.
Yeah, I think the 15 had a good launch.
I mean, that's just restarts, I think.
Slight tap at 75, and around he goes.
Guessing pit road is already open that time by. Now we've got... Is this overtime or is this 3 to go natural still?
This is the second overtime attempt. That was the first.
Okay. It's a good race and I'm losing track. And after that wreck, I had no thoughts that Cofield would keep the lead, but I guess just Panzarella spun, the yellow was thrown almost immediately, and it let Cofield keep that lead. See Camerata there. I'll take a closer look at it. Right there, a little bit of damage on that right rear. Not going to affect them too much, but that Fatal Motorsports truck, a little damage, but running P2, P3, can't be mad at that.
Again, the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to get our second of 3 possible green-white checkered attempts here.
Panzarella, I mean...
Front.
Just say Panzarella up to 5th. I mean, another crash, and I mean, he'll be right there. But Will Moore is going to need this win. Camerata kind of needs the win, but...
Down into the restart zone. Pretty good launch for Cofield.
Camerata not too bad. He's clear of the guys behind, so he's got room to work.
I'm riding along on the rear chase of Jonathan Cofield. You can really hear this throttle work through 1 and 2. Trying to keep as much power down as he can without spinning it. We're going to come around 3 and 4 to take the white flag. 1 lap to go at New Hampshire.
Panzarella making a move, so is Jeffrey Smith. Nothing for the lead. See the 8 get a little bit loose on corner entry, maybe with a little bit of help.
Oh,
Camerata! Camerata gonna hit the wall, but we jump back to our leader.
Comes Jeffrey Smith with that's a questionable move.
Cofield gonna go across the line first as fireworks happen behind him.
Drivers wrecking all over the place. Zach Panzarella to P2. Jeffrey Smith with a Hail Mary move that has
Take a look
resulted
at
in
that.
some anger over the radio. Will
Yeah.
Moore not happy. Rightfully so.
Take a look at what happens. He's gonna dive it way down to the bottom here. Take a look from the rear. He sends it in and just takes out the
right
8.
into the 8.
Luckily the 8 can keep rolling. He's gonna lose 2 spots because of it, and I mean the 96, I mean, completely ruins a good finish for himself. Luckily Will Moore kept 4th place there. But did Panzarella end up actually finishing 2nd? Is that correct? Wow.
Because he was running 3rd when Jeffrey Smith came by and took out the 8 who was in P2.
Wow.
Looking for the waiting room. We're looking for either our winner first or P3 first. I do see Zach. He's waiting, but I like to keep it in a 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 type of order.
Yep. We're looking at anybody for an extra interview. We trying to...
With the tempers flaring the way they are, I'd like to keep it pretty cool. So I'd like to, not in a rude way, avoid 8 and the 96, who are quite heated right now.
I was going to say we can grab Zapata from last week, but he's already going to be P3, so we can keep it to our 1, 2, 3, and then
our top 3 tonight. And
next week we'll grab...
there's Jonathan Cofield down there. Jonathan, it's Jonathan and Michael in the booth. Got a copy.
What's up, guys?
Me.
Hey, exciting racing there. Unfortunate incident with, Zach getting loose in front of you as you guys were battling hard. I would have loved to have seen that play out, without the incident. But you clearly, once you got up to the front, again, had the truck to beat. Zach led quite a bit, but once you get clean air, you just do your thing. I know a lot of drivers had troubles with loose off of 2, off of 4. Did you experience that a lot, or did you keep your tires on you well enough that it didn't get that loose? Because I didn't see it from you that much.
Yeah, I kept it in 4th gear a lot, trying not to shift. I'd start shifting when we had about 20 laps to go on a fuel run. And you keep your tires cooled off and save them a little bit. That 3rd gear really works well coming off the corner. Especially that first run when I was running him down. I think I was 5 seconds back, and I was catching him pretty good. I started shifting. Didn't notice him shifting. I don't know if anybody else was shifting, but like I said, you save the tires a little bit. You start shifting when they got wore out. It worked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that Panzarella really dominated this race, and he looked like he was a pretty even match with you. You might have been just a little bit better, especially on that long run. You want to walk us through how it was getting through the field and finally catching up to him?
Yeah, just taking it easy. Like I said, he seems to be the short track guy around here. He seems to be really good at any short track we go to. He's usually going to be the one up front. But yeah, just saving the stuff, being patient, getting by everybody, not trying to run nobody down in the corner and bump them or anything like that. Just being real gentle. Try not to use that fast pair like every week. Try to stay away from that thing. But yeah, it was a good race. Sounded like over the radio there was a few feuds. I know a lot of guys was having to finish well to get in the playoffs, so we'll see how all that works out.
Yeah, we know with the playoff style, tempers are gonna flare, especially in these cutoff races, and it being, I mean, not completely a short track, but in races like one, I mean, we knew the tempers were gonna flare. I'm sure you were happy to be locked in, but a win would have locked you in anyways.
Oh, definitely. Being locked in, not having to worry about too much. This is the first time I've drove the new. I seen where they added some asphalt and done some paving. I guess this is the new artwork, but they took my bump out out of 1 and 2. Didn't really like that very much, but the bottom don't work as well as it used to. It used to get down there on the flat and run pretty good, but now you most definitely got to run the next groove up.
Yeah, I think the only person we saw really trying that was Keith Ayers. He would dive it really far into the corner, slide up the track, and then still get a good exit off the corner. I think the only one running that line, but I'm sure it didn't help the tires, the front tires on entry at all. But it was quick. Well, you did it on the short run.
Yeah, it seemed like the more you diamond it, the faster you are. So just got to get used to that. Had 115 laps to get used to it, so kind of figured it out as I go. But yeah, it worked out.
You know, the dominant run from you from not qualifying, making your way to the front. There was a point that, you know, I questioned if you'd get there, and it was during that green flag run where you got to second but 6 seconds back, and then you guys made that pit stop, and you know he came out of the pits, and you went right on by because you had that momentum as he came out of the bottom of turn 2, and then once you got to the front, you did your thing.
Yeah, it's a tough track. It's a tough track to run people down. It's a tough track. Even tougher now, I think, to pass people. The outside works really good. You can get inside somebody, but they're just going to power back around you on the inside. Run that brake by slow and just try to roll the corner and get you a good exit. You know, maybe you can pull even with them on the straightaway and outbrake them going in the corner.
Yeah, I think personally I always thought Darlington was one of the hardest tracks, but the more I race, the more I figure out that New Hampshire is, it looks straightforward, but the flat corners, the less banking in that bottom groove, it just makes for such a hard race, so hard to pass, and it's really become a hard race to win, really.
Yeah, it's a tough place for sure. And next week, Dover? It's really tough too. Everything happens so quick around there, especially if you got 20 cars. You know, somebody makes a little bobble and you can pile the field up. So next week definitely be interesting also.
Well, congratulations on yet another well-earned victory. Go ahead and give those shout-outs that I think we're all familiar with at this point, but you got to give them some love every week.
Yeah, I want to definitely thank you guys for doing the broadcast, Worldwide Racing League, all the admins in here for letting me come in here. Dad couldn't be here this week. He's on a trip. Want to congratulate Zach and Javier for finishing on the podium with me. They were, especially Zach, he was really fast tonight. I think I was in chat with Javier, so I didn't race by myself, just hanging out with some new guys. He thinks he passed one car all night. He was still trying to get used to the racetrack, but good job by him. Just everybody in the league. Got Filmy LLC on the truck tonight. Cofield Asphalt Refinish and Cofield Flying Service. SM Racing Products. You ain't got a button box. Go check those guys out. Use code Bandits1 at checkout to save you a little money.
So we'll get another win from you. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Thank you, sir.
So, do we know how many?
Our race winner.
You know how many that is on the season for him? It's got to be close up to 7 or 8, right?
On the season, I believe it is on points photo. So he came in with 8, so that is 9 on the season since he joined.
Yeah, and he hasn't run them all. We're at week.
He hasn't run them all, but he's almost won all the.
Yeah.
Look at our waiting room. Petrella 2, 1 down to 2. Maybe. Oh no. Michael, got a copy?
You are roboting just a little bit. But
yep, I'm having a minute issue. Go ahead and you take this interview.
So Panzarella, we saw you be the dominant truck tonight early on. It seemed like you started struggling a little bit on the long run with it being a little bit tight. Want to walk us through the first half of the race?
Yeah, knew the car or truck was going to be really quick. Qualifying was great. And then, I knew in the long run it was going to feel slow, it was going to look tight, and it's just one of those tracks where you just can't let it get in your own head, in my opinion. Like, to me, even though it feels slow, as long as you're faster than your opponents, it doesn't really matter. The only person that I wasn't faster than in the first run was Cofield. By quite a bit. He was catching me like 300ths a lap towards the end of that run, so I just was trying to think about how I was going to approach the race. Kind of felt like it was going to be between me and him if it stayed straightforward. So felt like probably I was going to have to be kind of cute, come up with something creative to have a chance against someone like him. But yeah, I was just kind of enjoying my time out in that clean air and logging laps.
Yeah, now we'll talk about the ending. I mean, you ended up finishing P2, but that doesn't tell the whole story. You came off pit road, taking 2 tires, getting that lead, and I was saying on the broadcast, I knew you'd have to be better than Cofield on entry in the middle of the corner, and then you'd struggle on exit because 2 right sides make that truck loose, and it inevitably ended up being your downfall with the loose on exit. How much did the right sides change the truck?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make excuses for myself, but that's probably why that happened. I mean, I've been racing with like Case of Beer for like probably a year now. I'm not one to like self-spin. If anything, I underdrive stuff. So I don't know. I mean, he was just doing such a good job putting pressure on me, and I mean, I should have trusted him more. I've raced with Cofield for a while now. I know he's not a dirty driver. I raced him for wins like that. So I knew he wasn't going to get into me. I don't know why I panicked when he got to my inside. But I grabbed a handful of throttle. And yeah, that would have worked on 4 tires, and it would have worked at that point in the run on 4 tires. And I just wasn't thinking about the fact that I was on 2. And like I'm sure you saw with a bunch of other incidents here today, like once it's upset with you, the car or the truck, it's long gone. There was no saving it. So I was just holding on and just praying that no one got into me. And I mean, I just got piled onto. And that happens late in the race. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to have the lead without taking the 2, right? He'd already got me on the track. He had done a great job. So I had to take the chance. I guess it's cool that I came home with P2. I mean, that doesn't mean anything right now. I'm sure it will later. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Maybe if I don't go that hard, he gets me anyway. I don't know. So, sucks. And the biggest thing I feel bad about it is that it affected other people's race. So I apologize to anyone who was caught up in that. Leaders shouldn't be doing that. So yeah.
Have you had any time to watch it back yet?
No, not really. Haven't wanted to be honest.
One of my thoughts that I didn't bring up when watching it was maybe it wasn't exactly the 2 tires that did it. I mean, it definitely played a part, but it might have been just the line between the very bottom groove and the groove you were in. I don't know if the left sides touched it and helped upset it or not, but it definitely looked like you got a little low, and that could have helped, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, you could definitely be onto something there. I mean, Cofield was just doing such a good job. Kind of just, I mean, like Mata said, like I had to be good in the entry. I figured that out within like a lap or 2 of that restart. I was like, he's trying to get me on the entry, so I was oversending it more than I had all day, and it was just messing up my angles. I was kind of just going where the truck wanted me to on those last 5 laps. And yeah, I mean, that's how you make a good pass if you're Cofield. That's how you do that, especially cleanly. So I mean, I have no one to blame but myself for that.
And then on stream, we have you going in right now into turn 3. I mean, what did you see there on that last lap going into 3?
The overtime restart?
Yeah.
It's one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in a league. One of the most egregious things I've ever seen. That was awful.
Narrowly avoids you.
He wasn't very happy with me after my mistake. I got called a few words. I think it was directed towards me at least. And so I thought that missile was headed towards the 12 truck. So I was like, oh no. And then it just went right in front of me, and I was like, oh. Either he missed or he was mad at somebody else.
No, it didn't miss by much. And I don't think that was an attack at anybody. I think that was just he knew he needed big points being the first truck out of the playoffs, and he was just trying to send it deep. So I don't think that was aimed, but it almost, I mean, we just saw it back on broadcast. He came within, less than a foot of his back end clipping your front end.
Oh yeah, it was so close. I thought I was done for, and I was like, why not at this point?
Well, you had a really strong truck all night. I predicted your pre-race to lead at least 70 and win it. You led like 98 and got second. So I mean, really good race. I mean, you're not in the playoffs. You're out here trying for all the wins you can get, but you're definitely putting your name down with these guys as one of the forces to be reckoned with. As long as Cofield messes up, you're the next one in line. But
It seems like it is for any of the drivers here. You're gonna have to have a Cofield slip up to win one of these races. You even saw when I ran Darlington, I couldn't even keep up with him.
Yep.
So.
It's what it's gonna take. I mean, hopefully one day I'll be able to just get that dude on speed, but for now that's what it's gonna take. But yeah, shout out to the rest of the guys in this league. Everyone's great. Mostly very clean driving today, and yeah, having a great time over here, and it's been fun just competing for trophies and trying to stay out of the way during these guys' playoffs. Again, I apologize. It's the last thing I wanted to do is be a story when they're racing for a championship. So I'm sorry to all of them. And yeah, thank you guys for everything you do in the booth. You guys do a great job up there. And shout out to my sponsors, Daily Drivers Inc., VRN, and Daily Drivers Inc. Racing League. But appreciate everything, guys, and had a great time today. Didn't end the way I wanted to, but what I always say is if you do that enough times, you'll win some races. So.
Absolutely. Well, solid run from you. Good P2. I forget where we go next week.
I think Cofield said Dover. If he's correct, that's where we're going.
See y'all there.
I'll pop the schedule up right quick, and I can let you know.
I love that track.
I enjoy it.
Oh, no.
He's wrong. He's a liar.
Next week, I get to be on track.
Oh, we're going to the Charlotte Roval.
Round at 8 with the Charlotte Roval.
Oh, I love that track.
Charlotte Roval, Talladega, Martinsville for the round.
When is Dover? Where did this guy pull Dover from? We don't even race at Dover now, do we?
Dover came out of nowhere.
Dover is
Wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking. Yeah, he did not want to see Charlotte Roval.
Oh boy, don't expect much out of me next week then. Jeez, that track is brutal.
Yeah, so we hit the Roval for a road course, we hit Talladega for super speedway, and we hit Martinsville for paperclip short track. 3 entirely different tracks and mindsets for that round. It should be a good one, and I look forward to being on track for the Roval. I don't necessarily drive well there, but I find it just a really fun track to drive in general. So I got to get redemption for my screw up at Watkins Glen, where I ruined myself 6 laps in.
MC
I had pace for
Motorsports
a podium,
road course ringer.
Trying to be the AJ Allmendinger of this league.
And you're not very good at road courses, but you know.
No, I'm not that good.
Better than me for sure.
I won one Watkins Glen race in the Xfinity car in the league, and now I think I'm all that.
And who
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Who was your crew chief there?
Yeah, who crew chiefed me to that win? None other than Michael Matta. But
Oh boy.
all right, well, again, another good finish from you. You know, you got one win this season. You definitely could have another. It's just that goes for multiple drivers. Even it's Jonathan Cofield. There's multiple drivers here that could have more wins. If Jonathan Cofield just had one mistake or didn't show up, you know.
You're not kidding.
I mean, P2s are P1s when it comes to Cofield winning the race. Sometimes this one definitely could have been a P1 for you either way. I mean,
I agree, but I'll tell myself that tonight either way.
but,
Well, thank you guys so much.
Yep. Good race for me tonight. We'll see if Matta talks to you next week. I don't know if I'll end up in the booth at the end once I get out of the truck or not, but we'll see what goes on next week. And yeah, good luck and congratulations.
I'm sure you will be the case. I'm excited though, and thank you guys so much. Appreciate all you do. You guys have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Another P2 finisher, and it was looking like we weren't going to get a P3 interview, but within the last 2 minutes, Javier Zapata's pop next. Michael in the booth, got it.
Hey, Zapata, you got us?
I got you.
Hey, I'm gonna be pretty blunt here. It seemed like a pretty bad day to start, and then all of a sudden you found yourself up there in the top 5 and brought it home a P3. I mean, want to walk us through your day?
Yeah, that's about it, really. I was telling the guys, the phrase, I'd rather be lucky than good, so I think today I was just lucky. I've never been able to figure out this track, and yeah, I wasn't expecting too much of it. But yeah, right at the end, wild race. Those last few cautions kind of fell my way in terms of the pit strategy, which today I was lucky, last week not too much. So it kind of balanced out there, and yeah, try to hold off couple of guys there. I was gonna finish, I think, fourth or fifth, and all of a sudden there was the last lap wreck, and the seas parted, and yeah, I got to finish third somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that last lap wreck, what did you see of it? I know we asked Panzarella. I know it happened not right in front of you, but a little bit in front. You gained some positions from it. What did you see?
My God, I wasn't expecting that. All of a sudden, I see a car on the left-hand side just blazing through, and just hitting. I think it was Will, number
Yeah,
8.
Will, the
Yeah,
unfortunate
he got hit
bystander.
pretty hard. Yep, and I think I wasn't gonna pass him. He hit the wall, but he continued going, and just by a hair, I was able to kind of clear him and finish third. But yeah, that was my God, from my cockpit view, that was an amazing crash. I wasn't expecting that. I think Jeffrey threw a Hail Mary in there just to see if he could make it, to the next round. He
Yeah.
didn't make it work, but looked impressive from my point of view.
He was one of those drivers right near the cut. He needed points or a win, and you were on the opposite side of that. You were pretty much locked in. I think we needed like a 40 car field and you to finish last, and there's no way that was going to happen. So I think you were locked in, and you're going to go into the next round with some good points. We're looking at Charlotte Roval next week. How are you feeling at a road course? I can't remember how you did at Lime Rock, but how are you feeling?
Lime Rock, I finished second. I think Jonathan won that one too. Feeling good about that one.
Oh, that's right. He
I
lapped
like
the field.
Yeah, he lapped me too. So I think Jonathan was the only one that finished on the lead lap. But yeah, we lapped. We also lapped the field there. But yeah, the Roval, I like the Roval. I like road courses. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next 3 races. Actually, I think we have the Roval, Talladega, and Martinsville. So, and the last one, Phoenix. So yeah, I'm just glad that we kind of got out of this track. I knew it wasn't going to be my best. It ended up working, so that's fine. But yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, and I talk about Lime Rock. You finished second. The Roval's a very different track. The Lime Rock has a lot of runoff you can use, and the Roval, I mean, there's a wall pretty much everywhere. You're going to go in the next week trying to run really fast or just a little bit safer, knowing that you'd want a good points day with both Talladega and Martinsville in that next round.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to finish top 3, I think is going to be the goal there. If I finish top 5, that's fine. But top 3, I think, to get some playoff points. And, if it's just a wild race like today, maybe even fight for a win there. So you're right. That track is unforgiving. So, yeah, you do a mistake there and it's going to cost you. But I like the Roval personally. I've raced there, in other cars as well. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. Hopefully I do good. If not, again, top 5. Gonna be good, but looking for top 3.
Yeah, well, great finish for you tonight. Finishing third. I mean, you got any shout outs you want to give? And the floor is yours.
Just to my team. I think we all made it. Not sure on the points, but I think Tony, Keith as well made it. So yeah, shout out to them guys, and as usual to you guys, doing a wonderful job. Always enjoy watching the races after they're done. So keep up the great work.
Thanks. Well, we'll hopefully be talking to you next week if you meet your goal, a third. See how the race goes, and good luck.
Thank you. 10-4.
So that is going to bring us to just about the end. Let's check out our finishing order here. We had in first, obviously, Jonathan Cofield winning by almost a second over Zach Panzarella, Javier Zapata in third, Kevin Stanley in fifth, Anthony Camerata in sixth, Jade Feathers in seventh, Keith Ayers eighth, Jeffrey Smith in ninth, 10th Ryan O'Toole, 11th Charles Irwin, and 12th Nicholas Lamb. And if we take a quick look at these points again, this is coming into this race. They were very, very close with some of these guys. Some guys that needed some points. Make this a little bit bigger. Take a look here. We had Will Moore, who ended up finishing fourth. He was right on that cut line. Jeffrey Smith is going to finish behind, probably not going to make it in. Will Moore's probably going to stay. Anthony Camerata having a good finish. Charles Irwin is really going to be that question mark, finishing down in 11th. Not a good day. Going to be really close on if he makes it or not, because Jeffrey Smith also had a bad day. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll bring you the points next week, updated with who's in and who's out. But that's going to do it here at MC Motorsports Broadcasting. Thanks for joining us at New Hampshire, and it'll be me alone next week, no case beer, at the Roval, and we'll see ya.